Enlightened Hearts on WJZZ, the coolest TV in the world, station in the world. You are live with us, and we invite you to go on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please don't forget to like, follow, and share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. I just want to thank my guests for being here today. I have three powerful women with me, and we're going to be talking about mentorship. I have with me Shantae Dixon. She's the Director of Business Education with Great Lakes Women's Business Council. And I know you were prompting others to watch and to tune in to WJZZ, the coolest TV in the world. Then we have Dina Neely. She's a visionary and founder and CEO of Detroit Voltage, who is also my mentor. How about that? I'm a little hoarse, so I'm so happy when my voice come back. I don't know what to do. Okay, and then we have Gwen Hale. I have sat in one of your workshops, Gwen. Gwen is the president and CEO of Reagan Mechanical LLC. Is that right? Did I say that right?
That is correct. Yes, you did.
So we have these three powerful women who are going to be discussing today about mentorship and what it meant for them to even start their businesses. Powerful businesses. They have been in the business. All of the women together probably fit about at least over 50 years of experience having their own companies. At least, I would say, right? Together.
Should be collectively.
Yes, collectively. Yes. And of course, you have your host here today. I am Dr. Regina Hall. I am the licensed therapist with Enlightened Hearts and the host today. And our other host, Michelle White, is out. She is sick, and we duly missed her. I'm sure you missed your 2 seconds or 2 minutes before our show, which Michelle always do. And I'm always doing our station ID. But today we just have to switch it up and invite our guests. And we invite you to call in to 313-355-6018. And so I want to open up with you, Shantae.
Okay.
All right. And so tell us about Great Lakes Business Council, Women's Business Council.
Yes, thanks for having me this evening. Great Lakes Women's Business Council is a champion for minority and women-owned businesses. We have been in existence since 1984, and we are a pioneering organization. We initially started off as a loan program before there was even a thing called a microloan. And our executive director, she was visionary in regards to and trailblazing, because at that time, no bank or financial institution would lend to a woman nor a minority. I mean, they had some significant barriers, nor startups. So our organization started off as a loan program in 1984. And then for several years, we ran our microloan program. But then our executive director realized that what good is it to give a small business a loan and they're not able to manage and run their company successfully? So we became one of the first SBA women's business centers in the country. We have been in existence as a women's business center since 1995.
Wow,
and
okay.
The Women's Business Center, what we do is provide counseling, training, and now mentoring, which we'll be talking about today. And so, again, we wanted to make sure that these companies could be viable and successful and build their capacity. And then what good is it that they have financing and can build capacity and know how to run their companies, but there are no opportunities? So, again, our fearless leader, Michelle Richards, our executive director, she was one of the founding board members of the national certifying organization called WeBank, or the Women's Business Enterprise National Council. And what that does is it provides a gold standard designation for women-owned companies, 51% majority-owned by women, and it allows them to access opportunities that are not readily available, large opportunities with corporations. And we're also a third-party certifier with the SBA, so we also provide the WOSB, a lot of acronyms, and that's the Women-Owned Small Business certification that is granted by the SBA. So individuals, women in particular, can come to our organization and they can get certification not just to access the private sector opportunities, but also the many opportunities that are in the federal government space. So in a nutshell, that is what we do. We provide, like I said, access to capital. We have the counseling and training, And we also have the mentoring initiative that we started 5 years ago, which we'll talk a little bit more about today. And also, you can get your WBE and WOSB certification all under one umbrella. And I believe, this is our 40th year anniversary. I haven't
Wow.
been there
Okay.
that long, but our
Woo-hoo.
organization.
Yeah.
So, that speaks volumes about just continuing to stay ahead of the curve and being able to address the diverse needs. We don't provide everything for everyone, but I believe we have a lot of wraparound services, and we believe in meeting individuals where they are in their stage of development, and we collaborate with other partners in the ecosystem, and we help individuals to not only survive in their businesses but thrive and become sustainable.
Well, as a
Yes.
former business owner yourself, right?
Yes.
Very successful in healthcare, correct?
Yes, I have a counseling. I owned a counseling center. I was part owner of a counseling center for several years before becoming the director at the Women's Business Center, and I also do consulting on the side. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
that's great. And I read over 24 years of experience, right?
Yeah, I was a baby when I started. Yeah. Yes.
That is great.
24 years in this
So I
field,
was
yes.
wondering, what made you switch over, and were you using them, Great Lakes, as a part of your business? How did you find out about it?
Well, I've always been in the business development space since 1999.
Okay.
I had started out in healthcare administration right from college, but when I pursued my MBA degree in management, I did a consulting project for a clinic, and that is the bug that was planted for me to pursue entrepreneurship on my own. But along the journey of doing that, I found an opportunity where I can direct a entrepreneurship program. That organization is no longer in existence, but that was a trailblazing organization as well back in its day. And I just have a heart. I have a head for business, but a heart for helping women in particular. So I consider it as divine order that I was able to do all those things, but my heart has always been in helping and uplifting entrepreneurs, but in particular women.
That's
Yes.
amazing. So, what has been some of the challenges for you helping women, and what are some of the transitions that? Well, you named some of the transition, but the challenges of being a part of Great Lakes and helping women. What are some of the challenges?
Well, a lot of the challenges is that, especially during 2020 and since then, we've
Yes.
noticed that there are so many needs. And although the country has made a lot of progress in being able to elevate, women and in particular minority-owned businesses, the barriers still remain. And being part of this work in this organization, we're able to make an impact. I've gone to Capitol Hill to advocate for, policy change. I know our executive director has gone many times and also speak to the Senate. But a lot of the challenges is resources. The needs are so great, but we do not have enough resources to be able to address all of the needs, and that is why our relationships with our ecosystem partners, we collaborate with other organizations who have a similar mission to help our individuals to get to where they need to be. But that is it. Even as an organization, lack of resources, I would say that's the biggest challenge that we have. But I think that we have an ear to the needs of the women that we serve. So we're always looking at being innovative. And I believe we're ahead of the curve. A lot of times we're offering services that are new to the market. But 40 years in, I think that we're the best kept secret. So we're working on how do we share this organization and the services. A lot of our services are free or no cost. So, it's just a matter of someone investing their time and their commitment to participating in the programming. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was trying
Yeah.
to remember, how did I even get involved?
Right.
Yeah. What I want you to do is introduce Gwen and as
Yes.
well as Dina for me.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, normally we read the bios, but I have to say, I'm feeling like a frog, okay? And I'm like, well, you ladies are going to have to help me out with that. However, I can point out some of the highlights. How about that?
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I want to introduce these two ladies. These two ladies are very important to me. We're going to talk about mentoring today. So they are what I call the example of an individual who've gone through our mentoring program as a mentor, but we call them our full circle mentors. They went through as a mentee, but now they're serving as a mentor. So I have first Gwen Hill, who is the owner of Reagan Mechanical, and she went through our Mentor We program when we first started in 2019. So 5 years ago, we started off as a pilot providing the mentoring initiative where Gwen went through a industry specific cohort. So I'm very excited to have Gwen Hill here, and she has jumped in with both feet, and she's just really doing phenomenal in her business. So I'm sure she'll share her successes. And then, of course, this lady here, Dina Neely. These are both certified WBEs as well.
Yes.
She is an example of someone who's taken full advantage of our programming at Great Lakes. So she is now currently serving as a mentor, and
Yeah,
she had
my
gone through,
mentor.
right, she's your mentor. And she had gone through the mentoring program, I believe, 2 years ago, but she has gone through a number of Great Lakes initiatives. So she is a person who, again, she came through the door at one stage, and she was able to leverage the relationships that she's had and take advantage of our resources, gone and grown. And then as she comes to another particular area where she's ready to grow her business, she's taking advantage of our resources. So Dina Neely is the owner of Detroit Voltage, and I'm really excited to have both of these ladies here today. I think they're a great example of why mentorship matters and that mentoring works.
Yeah, great. So I'll start with you, Gwen. Gwen, tell us, how did you even find out about Great Lakes and start building this partnership?
Back in 2015 is when Rake Mechanicals first started. We already had our MNSBC certification, and we thought that we should probably go ahead and find out about our WB certification. So once we got the WB certification, doors opened up a little bit wider for a women-owned business because they wanted to check off all the boxes. Not only did they check off the boxes with Reagan Mechanical, but they found out, oh, well, you guys could really do the work that's out there.
Now tell us more about the mechanical, Reagan Mechanical. What
Reagan
actually do you do?
Reagan Mechanical is basically a heating and cooling company. We don't do residential. We do industrial, commercial, and industrial, commercial, and automotive. So we put in pipes for boilers and chillers.
Okay, all right. And how did you get involved in that?
Back in funny you should mention that. Back in 1997, and this is a cool story. Back in 1997, my brother decided that he wanted to start his own company. And I got a call from my dad maybe 15 minutes after he made that decision and says, your brother doesn't know what he's doing, so go help him out. So in 1997, well, he knew what he was doing in regards to putting in pipe, but he didn't know the business side of things.
Okay.
So I have a master's degree in business, so that's how that started. So in 1997, we started Hale Contracting, and in 2015, we decided that it would probably be better if we put the company under a woman-owned company business because we have more opportunities. So that's how Reagan Mechanical started.
Wow, that is really powerful. So you found the legacy of your dad.
Nope, my dad just said, go do the work. I'm a very strong advocate of listening to your parents and make sure it's done. I believe the most thing that I'm proud of is that we have worked on every major sports venue in the city of Detroit. So we put in mechanical rooms in all of them. I'm also a graduate of Cass Technical High School. And what was really cool is that when we were doing LCA, we were on top of the roof at LCA, and we looked across the street, and it's like, there's Cass Tech. Could you imagine back 40 years ago that we would be sitting up here putting in a mechanical room for LCA?
Wow.
So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. So tell me, how did you get started in the mentorship program?
Oh, Shantae gave me a call. When Shantae calls, you better answer.
All right.
So, they gave us some great mentors. We had Lauren Ricolta of DFM. We had Jennifer. I forgot what Jennifer's last name, but she's Ferris. She has an IT company. And we have the great women of Aristio, Michelle, and Annie Aristio. So it was a win-win all the way around. The people that I went into the cohort with, we were all very tight. We built relationships. I know their kids. I know their husbands. I could call my mentors in the middle of the night. They will answer the phone to give me advice. And I just thought it was a wonderful program. So when Shantae reached out again and asked me to be a mentor, I went, of course, I'll help you out. And then she gave me nothing but the best people because Dina's one of my was one of my mentees.
Really?
So yeah,
Okay.
it went full circle, and it's just a great program. I can't say enough about the program.
That is awesome. And so, Miss Dina.
Yes.
Now, Dina don't play. I have to admit, man, she stayed on us, and so, Dina, tell us about your company and how you got started. I know your story, and it's really a beautiful story how you got started. So, tell the audience what that
Okay.
meant for you.
So first, I want to say thank you so much for having me. I love to see you in your element. This is really, really amazing.
Thank
So I'm founder and CEO of Detroit Voltage, and I started the business back in 2009. Was it 2009? No, I'm sorry. 2016. I told a whole story. 2016. But I started a whole story. Whole story. So I started working in local government. I started working in local government when I was 18. So I worked in buildings and safety department for the city of Detroit.
Okay.
I worked in that department for over a decade. Very random. But I had an opportunity to work with contractors, city officials, the mayor's department, and really, really gain some insight as it relates to how contracting worked, but just from the opposite side of the counter. And so I did that for about 9 years, and I met a gentleman. We met, fell in love quickly, had 2 babies, and decided that I would become a stay-at-home mom just because it was easier as it relates to childcare, because I was crazy with 2 babies. And so I did that for about 9 years while helping him grow his company, leveraging the contacts that I had made while working for the city of Detroit.
Okay.
So he was a master, he was an electrician. And I kind of helped him grow his company over those years. And then I started to research federal contracting before federal contracting was as popular as it is right now. And I started to research, and I saw that I could become a woman-owned company and that I could win contracts and subcontract them. And so I was like, honey, I think it's a great idea. I should start my own company. I could subcontract you, these opportunities, and we can make some real money within the household. He thought it was a good idea. So I studied, I tested, I became a contractor, and I started Detroit Voltage. And then 3 months later, he left me. And it was the most unexpected situation ever. However, I reached back out to who's the director of buildings and safety now, and I'm like crying on his shoulder. I'm getting a divorce. And he knew me and my ex-husband. He's like, well, what are you crying for? Like, you have all of the resources. You have everything you need.
Wow.
What were you going to do before? You could still do the same thing. And it was like that light bulb went off because I really could. And so I started to network, and I mean 4 or 5 days a week. It took me months before I got my first contract, and I was really ready to give up. Like, this just probably isn't for me.
Okay.
But I got my contract, and then the opportunities just never stopped coming. So Detroit Voltage is 100% Black woman owned by little old me. We do residential and commercial electrical services. So anything from indoor, outdoor lighting, panel upgrades. We now install electric vehicle charging stations through DTE. And business has been crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm in my 8th year now. I also work with Google and have been featured in some really amazing campaigns, and honored to be a mentor through the Mentor We program.
Yes. Now, how did you get involved with Mentor Week?
So I think my first engagement with Great Lakes Women's Business Council was like within my first few years of business. I just started to research, and I noticed that when contracting, you needed these certifications to kind of set yourself apart from your competitors. And then I also realized that I checked all boxes. And so that gave me a real competitive advantage. And that if I would pursue these things, that I would be able to, get these opportunities, is what I thought. It would be that simple. That's not how it works, but that's what I thought. And so it was a toss-up between getting my WBE certification or MBE certification. And hands down, it was my WBE first. And they were really just warm and welcoming over at Great Lakes Women's Business
Okay.
Council.
I mean, I have dealt with other organizations and I just didn't get the same reception. And I mean, from the beginning, everybody that I ever dealt with over there, they were just warm. And so I made sure that I maintained that relationship by attending the different programs, the different workshops and things of that nature, just really getting involved and being an advocate for the organization overall. I wanted everybody to know, look, this is a safe place for women here. Like, you can really get what you need here, and they'll wrap their arms around you and they'll help you, and it's these services. So anyway, when the opportunity presented itself that I saw about, the Mentor Week program, I'm like, oh, I need this. And then, of course, I was mentored by, none other than Gwen Hale and Carla Walker Miller.
Okay.
I mean, they gave us the best mentors ever. And we learned so much, and they brought in so many people, and it was just great. And so when the opportunity presented itself for me to be a mentor, I'm like, me? Really? You want me to be a mentor? Like, what can I offer? But that was that imposter syndrome. That's a whole nother segment.
Yes.
But it was really a great decision to make. Like, I love being a mentor. I mean, I didn't realize how much it would mean to me, but it's been wonderful. So that's how I heard about it. That's how I got involved.
That is awesome. And so I'm wondering, Shantae, how do women, because you said a well-kept secret, so how do women, other than Dina and Gwen promoting it and myself, matter of fact, let me just say I graduate in February. I think my graduation is February 7th. Yes. So I'm so excited. And I was just trying to think, how did I even get involved? And Shantae and I met, I know, and I kept saying that I was going to go through this program. I was going to get my certification. And you're right, very encouraging. Regina, you can do this, you just apply, we can even help you with that. And I was talking with Lori Wellsby, and I said, I've been thinking about this. And she said, well, we have a mentorship program that is about to open. And I need you to apply for your women's certification, and let's see how we can walk through this. And I was like, well, I don't think I'm ready. And she's like, that's the only way you can be involved.
That's so Lori. That's so Lori. Gotta love her.
So she asked Sharice to come over, and she introduced us, and that's how I got started.
Wonderful.
Honestly, because I was like, okay, it's the only way I can get involved. So let me get on board.
Let me just do it.
And it was the best decision ever. I had a
Yeah.
chance to have you as my mentor and Tiffany. Tiffany, last name is
Klinger
not
Smith.
Smith.
Yeah.
Yes. And having both of you as my mentors have been great. I need to do a better job of connecting with the people who were in my cohort, because I love that, and building relationships,
Yes.
because you can. All of us were busy. It was on Zoom, and I was wondering, were you guys more in person when
No.
you did it? It was online as
I was
well.
in person.
You
in
were
person.
I was
Yep.
not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you build relationship with your cohort?
I talk too much. And just to be honest, like, I love people, right? So I'm always trying to engage whenever I can. And that's just what I do, whether I'm online or in person, just forging those relationships, right? So can we meet for coffee? Can we do a Zoom coffee? Whatever, how can I support you? Those type of things when you're doing those different programs. That's, how I kind of build those relationships.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, she brought up a good point. You get out of it what you put in. And
Absolutely.
when Gwen came through 5 years ago, that was pre-pandemic. That sounded like a lifetime
Yes,
ago, right?
2019. Yeah.
So her modules were in person. And when 2020 happened, we were presented a dilemma. Will this program that was very successful in person, can we replicate those successes in a virtual model? Because everything was shut down. We all went remote, and we continue to go forward. So we had so many women throughout our network saying that they didn't know if they will be able to survive to the end of 2020. And we were fortunate as a Women's Business Center to get the resources. As I said, lack of resources. We were fortunate to get some grant funding to be able to expand our Mentor We model. And so we went virtual, and we also did mixed group cohorts, because when Gwen went through, it was strictly industry specific.
Okay.
But we tested the model and determined that, what if we, service multiple women, because all industries across, sectors were impacted by the pandemic. It wasn't just food service or professional services. It was all, pretty much every industry was impacted. So in 2020, we were able to flip the switch, and that's when we were fortunate to bring Lori Wesby on board. Shout out to Lori
Love
Wesby,
Lori.
our
Lori.
Mentor Week coordinator, because we would not have been able to expand the program like we did if I did not have the help. So I appreciate Lori for coming on board and bringing her expertise. But so we were able to do that, and what we've determined through these mixed cohorts is that now that it's not just industry specific, you have women from different sectors in one cohort, and what we've discovered is that there's what we call a collective intelligence. So women are bringing their own perspectives from their experiences and backgrounds, and now they're helping women to explore other ways to approach challenges and problems. So we found that that has worked wonderful. So we didn't think that virtual would be just as effective, but I mean, they were meeting consistently. All of the women who went through those cohorts during 2020, 2021, they not only survived the pandemic, I mean, they thrived. They were able to increase their revenue. They were teaming together on projects. And we see that across all cohorts, though. Again, those women who really engage and really lean in and be a sponge and soak in the knowledge that they get not only from their mentors, but also their cohort members, it just been determined that they're a lot more successful.
Yes.
And again, you get out what you put in.
That's the
If you
truth.
give 50%,
You gotta
and
get
our
50%.
mentors are stellar too, and I want to give out a shout out to them as well, because they do not get compensated. They're not on staff. They're not contracted, and they put in a lot of work because they're
Yes.
running their own companies, and they're also giving of their time. They're sharing their network, their resources with our mentees. So I mean, it's just awesome. If I had a mentor weed when I was earlier stage of my business development, I might not be here now. So
Okay, all right. all right.
but it's a proven model that works, and we're looking at how we can expand it beyond just Michigan. A lot more of our other partners are now asking for the secret sauce. But I think it's just a great program, and it matters. It really matters, especially for women who are underrepresented
Yes.
and women who are underserved, and we have really been able to expand and do a lot more with those populations because of the Mentor We program, and it shows that representation matters. So we make sure that we bring in mentors who look like the people that we serve, and we have a diverse network, so we have diverse mentors as well. But it has been phenomenal. I think this. I don't want to say I have a favorite program, but this is my favorite.
Yes, your favorite
There's one that's kind of coming up.
Yeah.
Relationships that form. Like I believe Gwen still calls her mentors. They go and have lunch and learns, and their mentors open their playbook. So the relationships that are built are long lasting. That Great Lakes, we facilitated it through the mentoring program, but it has taken off organically, and we're seeing
Okay.
individuals teaming with one another and flourishing. That's the beauty of it. Our organization has been around for 40 years, but I'm confident if Great Lakes never exists beyond today, that those seeds we planted with the Mentor We program and the relationships that these ladies are building, and now they're paying it forward. That's what it's all about.
Right.
That's what
a
it's all
powerful
about.
Statement. Well, before I go and ask you more questions, let me just encourage our audience to call in and find out. There are many, many businesses that are opening up after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And there is an increase in the workforce now. However, many businesses started, and if you want help in understanding your business, even getting a business plan together, we need you to call in and talk to these ladies. Please call us at 313-355-6018. Currently, you are watching Community Updates and Enlightened Hearts, live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Wjzz Cool Tv, the coolest station in the world. So let me just go to you, Gwen. What was some of the successes that you had in being a part of the cohort in the mentorship program?
The part that I had was one of my mentors from Aristio. they had a contract and they wanted to make sure that their participants were getting a piece of the pie. So they tested me out. I think it was maybe a $60,000 contract, and it went well. Within a year, I had a $2 million contract from them. Not only that, they're general contractors. So what happened was when I needed a general contractor, I referred to Ristio, and they worked up underneath me. So it was a win-win situation. Also, within my own cohort, there are different constructions. So there was a flooring lady, there was a cleaning lady. So I'm always looking out for someone else that was in my cohort. So if I got a job, I could also hire them. So right now we're doing a job at Detroit Public Schools I think we got about 10 schools that we're doing. It's like a $10 million project. So what was happening is I reached out to a couple of people that were in the cohort with me. There's one lady, her name is Tara, and she does, as she calls it, if you can see someone from the other side of your toilet, you might need to thank me because I do the partitions for the toilets. So I tried to bring in flooring people that came in the cohort. So it's always a win-win. It's not just a certificate, but you have to prove that you want to go out there and do the work. If you do it well, someone's going to reach out and make sure that you get a contract.
That is awesome. Tell me about you, Dina. What was your experience and
I
success?
had so many.
Oh, well, that's great.
I had so many. I would say that being a participant in the program, I learned from Gwen and Carla, because very powerful women in business, right? They've done some amazing things, and they brought in some amazing people. But one of my favorite sessions was a Meet the Buyer session. And it was something that nobody really talks about, right? How to have these conversations, how to advocate for yourself, how to negotiate these deals, how to speak up for yourself, how to do these things the right way. And through learning these different strategies, I've been able to negotiate. Well, I'm still in the process of negotiating a multi-million-dollar contract. But it's like without having these ladies to kind of walk me through and let me know what to say and how to do these things, I wouldn't know. I mean, I could research, but to have a mentor, that's why it's important to have mentorship, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody that you can lean on and kind of ask specific questions that really have been through that place already. And so they can speak from experience and not necessarily textbook. Either way is good, but I prefer to have somebody that has been down that road, that looks like me, that might have experienced the same challenges. So, I mean, that's one of my greatest takeaways from the program, being a participant.
Now, both of you are in unique fields. Would you say how many women are doing, cooling, and how many women are doing the electrician? And I think both of you have a background of construction. Would that be correct?
Well, so for me, I ended up doing some programming once I got into the space, right? I didn't initially start off knowing all these things. I had to learn along the way.
Okay.
So
I would say the same thing.
So I also had a business background. Same with Gwen. And the beautiful thing about it is, so I tell my mentees now that are interested in getting into the construction industry, if you have a real knowledge of business, because I think that's the part that's lacking in a lot of contractors, like they don't understand the business side. They know how to do the work and they could do it well, similar to what Gwen was talking about as it relates to her brother and why her father brought her in initially. Our understanding of business is what has allowed us to grow quicker as well, right? So we understand who to put in place, what we need in order to grow and scale, and that's a whole different conversation.
And like Dina said, we have to learn the business on the ground.
Yeah.
My business background, that's wonderful to run the business, but I want to see what was going out in the field. And learning from my brother, walking up stairs and climbing ladders. One funny story is that I was following him at Comerica Park, and I'm just climbing right behind him, and I climbed up and he started walking down this little trench, and I looked up and went, is that I-75 down there? I'm going to tell Dad that you're trying to kill me. So yeah, you know the business part of it, but you have to learn the practical part of it as well.
Yeah, it's quite a bit to learn, right?
Yes.
And you're right. A lot of times people are feeling overwhelmed and, ready to give up because we have unrealistic expectations. Furthermore, to even start a business, we think once we say that we have a business, then the money just gonna come on in.
No.
And so you said it took a minute for it to come in.
Yeah.
But what was some of the barriers for you mentally that you had to overcome?
Because I'm happy you said that because it was mental barriers, right? It was me saying nobody's gonna want to work with a woman, nobody's gonna give me an opportunity. I don't know enough. I don't know, all these things. So I was putting up all of these barriers, and honestly, it wasn't until I met Google and I was personally mentored by Google that they really showed me the value in what I did know and that I needed to put that in the forefront of everything that I did. And when I started to show up for myself is when opportunities started to start rolling in, right? Because I was hiding from the fact that I was a woman-owned company. I didn't want anybody to know. I'm like, nobody's gonna want to do any work business with me. I'm not gonna tell anybody that I'm a black-owned business because nobody's gonna work. I mean, it's still very much so a white male-dominated industry, and so in my head, I'd already put up all of these barriers to entry that really didn't exist. So when I started to show up organically, and put myself on my website and tell people on my listing that I'm a black woman-owned company, people started to flock like, oh, we've been looking for you. Where have you been?
Oh, wow.
So it was ultimately as if I was hiding from the customers that were trying to find me.
That's awesome. Okay. What about you, Gwen? Because yours have a little different story to it.
This is a little hardcore construction here. Back in 1997, they didn't want to see a woman on a job site. So you went along, back then, I'm not going to say it's sexual harassment, but you would walk into a yard and you have the little girly calendars up there and you just sort of ignore it. Guys didn't know that you knew what you knew, but you have to remember, you're the one signing their check. So the bottom line is get the job done. We're going to do it well. We're going to move on. So as time has progressed, things have changed a lot. There are more women in the construction industry. They see that it's a good paying work, good paying jobs. And you just move forward with it. You don't let anyone hold back your dreams.
I love that. And so are you mentoring other women in the construction?
All the time.
All the time.
Try to pull someone in and say, look, you want to be a pipe fitter, you want to be a plumber, you want to be an HVAC tech, I can get you in the right situation. We're going to make sure that you go to the trade school if you want to go that way. If you want to go get your engineering degree and go to trade school, we can do that. Whatever you want, whatever your dream is, we can help you fulfill your dreams.
And would it be true you have an engineering background?
My brother has an engineering background. I have the business background.
Background. And I did read that you have sat on various boards and...
That is true. I tried to tell my brother, let's try and get on some paying boards. It's very time consuming, but we're always willing to help any way that we can.
And Dina, you are award winner. You can finish that for me.
I won a few awards.
Okay.
Just a few. No, I won one with the Great Lakes Women's Business Council. I think I won Breakout Influencer. Was that through? Okay.
Yes.
But I've won a bunch of awards over the years, and that's been interesting as well, right? Because still dealing with that imposter syndrome. Like, really, do I deserve this? Like, have I done enough? But when I look back at all of the things that I have accomplished, I'm like, wow, did I do all of that? I mean, it feels surreal, right? When you kind of look back at all of the things that you've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. So, yeah.
So this is your second cohort, or you're going on your third cohort, Gwen?
My first cohort, when I was the mentee, was back in 2019. When Dina came in, what was that, 2022? 2022.
Okay.
So right now, the WBE, Great Lakes WBE, has me working in different sections. I'm not no longer a mentor, but if someone wants to reach out to me, I will always call them back.
Yes.
But they have me working out in different avenues. Actually, the other thing, we were talking about awards, back in this year, now I can finally say it, in 2024, there are, I believe, 12 women that received the STARS Award. The STARS Award is a country, throughout the country. Only 12 women received this award. I'm one of the recipients of that award.
Congratulations.
Star.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And last year we granted you WB of the Year.
WBE of the Year.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
That's great.
Well, Shantae, you mentioned that the women the mentors do not get paid. They're giving up their time and their resources. And I have to admit, Dina really gave some great resources. And I hooked up with Google. I
Oh,
did
yeah,
that
good.
one, as well as with Felicia.
She was amazing.
Yes, I'm trying to think of her business. What is it called?
Everything HR.
Yes, everything
yes.
HR.
Mr. Harris.
Yes, and so that was even great. And right now I'm just waiting for us to move forward on the contract for that. And just being able to have a mentor in my presence to tell me things, get on top of it, really talk to us. And one person said to me that there's no such thing as a imposter syndrome. And I was thinking about that because I felt the same way,
Yeah.
going out there. However, it is scary, I would think, and filled with anxiety, particularly since both of you are more in the male-dominated section of business and working with, I would also probably think white-dominated.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's white male dominated.
Yeah, so I can imagine that produced a lot of anxiety within itself. And so getting beyond some of that, how do you help your mentors or mentees get beyond some of that? Because it is difficult.
You tell them to jump in the water's fine. If they want to do this and this is something they really want to do, and we're showing them the people that are doing it just by picking someone up. We know the head, which was in one of my mentor groups, the head of Henry Ford Hospital, Denise Brooks Williams. I mean, black female. How did she climb the ladder? I mean, if she could do it, you could do it.
Yeah.
Carla Walker Miller. I mean, she came in before me. I mean, my God, she's got an engineering background, and I know she faced a lot of racism. So, I mean, you just got to, if this is what you really want to do, go for it.
And that's why I said earlier, representation matters. So we were really intentional, especially during the 2020 transition with the pandemic, is to recruit more women of color mentors. Because again, if a woman-owned business who's not as advanced can see another, woman of color who's excelled in leadership and achieved success in various sectors of business, then they can believe. You can see it, you can believe it, right? So once they see that, then that kind of helps with the knowing that they can do it too.
Yeah. So there's another cohort starting. That's correct?
Yes.
Well, tell us more about it.
Okay, we have another cohort forming, I want to say next month, February. So we do have an application process that is ongoing now. And if you're interested, you want to visit our website at greatlakeswbc.org. And you will visit the Women's Business Center and you'll see a drop down to go to the Mentor We program. But phenomenal program. And I would like to add that there is no cost to participate in our program. Again, we just want to make sure that you have some skin in the game, you're invested, you're engaged and committed. But all of this that they're talking about, you have access to at no cost, financial cost.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that was very helpful. Well, tell us the difference between, because someone may be thinking, well, what's the difference between a mentor and a coach? What does a mentor offer that a coach is not offering?
A coach, from my understanding, a coach is someone that knows your goals. They're helping you to achieve your goals. So they're, I don't want to say participating on the sidelines, but they're motivating you to achieve that goal. A mentor does similar, but a mentor, I believe, opens up and kind of take you by the hand and walk alongside you.
Yeah.
And open you up to their network. That's how I would interpret a mentor. It's a fine line, but a mentor is going to
because they
actually
are
walk
giving
the
you-
walk with you and
Yes.
until you're able to stand, and then they'll let you go.
Yeah.
But you can always, get picked back up again by a mentor.
Yes.
And somebody kind of hold you accountable too. Like I hold y'all accountable.
Yes.
I'd be like, where's that work that you were supposed to start it? I mean, but it's important to have that, right? Or else, and sometimes life gets in the way and we get very busy and we can't. But if you have somebody that that's going to hold your feet to the fire, like, come on now, you want to do this. How bad do you want it? Make sure you show up for yourself. Let's get it done.
Show up for yourself. stuff
Like a
that.
coach, in most cases, they come with a price tag, a seat price tag, right? A lot of mentors, they don't charge anything. If I'm mentoring, I'm not charging anything to be your mentor. Like, it's a difference. Coaching is like a very strict regimen, just like Shantae said. It's something that's set up in advance. Okay, these are the steps you need to take in order to grow, and then they kind of. But with a mentor, they're kind of holding you
They're
more
giving you
accountable
advice,
and giving you
right.
advice.
Yeah. That's really true. And so again, we are at 6:45. We can take a caller, 313-355-6018. We have 5 more minutes. And if there's anything on your mind that you would like to share, Shantae, you did give the information about the mentorship program, but is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience?
Yes, I would like to share that our Women's Business Center, we are a National Women's Business Center of Excellence. So that speaks volumes about the level of commitment that we have to the programming, and that it's tried and it's true, and we put ourselves under a microscope. So I know sometimes you don't know if you can trust someone with your, your business is like your baby. So we're letting you know that we are, we have standards of excellence that we've met. And, mentoring works. It's a transformative, I call it initiative, high level, high touch. And if you need that so you can get to the next level, the Mentor We program is definitely one that you should commit yourself to engaging in.
Okay, that's wonderful. What about you, Gwen? Is there any words that you would like to leave with our audience, particularly those women who are thinking about opening a business or who have started a business and feeling frustrated and discouraged and defeated? What would you offer to them?
As I said before, jump in. The water is fine. Right now, I'm looking for the mentors and mentees that I've worked with to find a project together that we can all do together to have one woman-owned company start and finish a major project in the city of Detroit.
Oh, that'd be
Oh,
beautiful.
wonderful. Okay. What about you, Dina? What would you say?
I'm kind of like on the same track as Gwen. I just believe you just need to just jump. Sometimes we overanalyze things and we just do not move. I have a book that's coming out. I'm in my editing phases now of it, and we talk about analysis paralysis, where we just research a thing until we just get stuck. And, I find that a lot of people experience that. Yeah. So just jump. You will be shocked. You'll figure things out. Things will just begin to organically come to you. If you believe in you, others will as well.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge, missing component. But I'm also going to give a shameless plug, because I just said that my book is coming out. But also that, I do have, we'll be opening up coaching again soon. I did it for a little bit and, kind of had to pull back. I'm at my mentoring capacity, so I can't do that right now. But I'm also looking for electricians that are licensed, that want to work, that are looking for opportunities. Are interested in doing some electric vehicle charging station installations. Wow. Get with me. I do have opportunity. I would love to see if we could be a good fit. And
Well, tell us about your company in terms of, where can they find you? Your website and telephone number.
Thank you for a reminder for that. Yes. So you can find me at DetroitVoltage.com. You can also send me an email at info@DetroitVoltage.com. And my telephone number is 800-258-1352.
Okay, say that again.
800-258-1352.
And Gwen, you want to give your information?
Reagan Mechanical. It is located at 422 West Congress Street, Suite 350. If you want to get into the pipe fitter plumbing program, I would highly recommend that you give me a call at 313-483-9400. We could get you all set up.
All righty, and you want to do yours?
I'll do ours again. Yes. So you can visit our website at greatlakeswbc.org, or you can call us at 734-677-1400.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for coming
you.
on Community
Thank you for
Updates
having
and
us.
Enlightened Hearts. You have been watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please do not forget to like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. God bless you all, and thanks for tuning in.